I am starting a video here. I'm actually excited about this because with interest rates, people nervous about should I buy or should I wait? Some of the things have changed. There's always some changes when things happen like this where it's not as easy to buy a home or as affordable to buy a home. So what I'm going to talk about today is an option that was brought forth not too many weeks ago, maybe a month or longer ago, I forget, where you can actually put 5% down on a 2 to a fourplex, meaning a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. If you're living in it, so you must live in it, you can rent out the rest, but buy it for 5% down and rent it to help pay for your mortgage. So what I did is I actually created a case study, so to speak, but also wanted to let you know that there's a lot of opportunity in this. And this is a great option for somebody who wants to get into home buying but doesn't have a ton of money per se. You can get gift money from, it's restricted family, really restricted actually, but that's for a lender to answer. But anyway, I looked up in the Twin Cities, so I stuck to the area of basically north suburbs. I went as far as Forest Lake down to just south of Lakeville. East went over to the Wisconsin border, just north of Cannon Falls. On the west side, Rogers and Shakopee. So I made a big square shape within those areas to see what's available. I came up with 86 opportunities to either have a duplex to a fourplex. The cheapest one was $115,000. It has fire damage, granted, so you're going to have to do a renovation to it. But like I said, it's an opportunity. You can look at it as something that would never happen, but people do these things all the time, and you should think, why not me? So as I said, I'm going to do a case study on this. So what I did is I grabbed one of the options that was available, and that was a $240,000 duplex in the city of St. Paul. Like I said, it was the asking price is $240,000. Currently, the top size being rented for $1,275, and the lower rental is $1,275. So both are the same. So right there, you're looking at $2,500 for rent. But keep in mind, if you're going to use this option, you actually have to live in one of them. So you're not going to be able to collect the full rent. Sorry, $2,550 would be the total rent. But that's a whole other story if you just want to buy it and rent both out. But I'm talking about people who want to live in one of the units and rent the rest out. So this case study, like I said, $240,000, 5% down, which is $12,000. Closing costs approximately 3%, which would put you at $7,200 for a grand total of, if you're closing, $19,200 would be what you would have to bring to closing. As I said, you can your own money, you can get gift money, but it's restricted who you can get that money from. So anyway, looking at that, and I use an example of 8% interest rate. So with that all in, $2,330. That includes your taxes, but also included homeowners insurance, which I went on the little bit higher end, which I could be close, hopefully, at $2,400 a year for homeowners insurance. That also includes you're going to have mortgage insurance is included in that payment too. So if you take that $2,330, you subtract the $1,275 because you have to live in one of them, but you can rent the other one. Your payment's $1,055. I'm guessing if you're renting, you may find a studio apartment for $1,055, but I'm guaranteeing you're not probably finding anything much more than that for $1,055 for rent. So that's where I want to start from there, is for you to see at $1,055 a month to own a house that's going to give you equity. And real estate should be looked at as a long-term investment, unless you're a flipper where you're flipping and fixing and selling. Other than that, for most people, it should be part of your long-term goal is to acquire more real estate. And second of all, this is like, as everybody say, hacks, life hacks, house hacking. This is a hack. So if you want to get into your first home and actually have a way to start building wealth very young, I wish I'd have done this. Own a duplex, tri, or fourplex, lived in it and rented it, but this wasn't possible before for 5% down. This is possible now. So I'm going to go over to, well, sure, I do that, but what am I looking at long term? I looked up some stats and I used the Minnesota Realtors Association. I belong to that. I went to their website and just got some data. So over the past, they did 12 years. So they said the average home increased in value. So that's called home equity, which you own in your house for which you owe to what it would be worth if you sold it. 3.75% per year. 3.75% per year. So if you take that and I just went for 5 years. I should have found a calculator, but I didn't. So I just want to find out if I bought a place for $240,000 and my home increased in value at an average of 3.75% per year for 5 years, I would have $48,503.94. And that's average. Keep in mind, some years like 2020, it was almost 20%. Other years it may be 1 or 2%. But on average, like I said, going back from the statistics I found, going back 12 years, the home values were increasing 3.75%, which is incredible. And like I said, they went from 2010, which we remember, 2010 was 2 years after the market crash, up to 2022. And 2022 was an incredibly, well, that was actually where rates were going down. So I will take that back. That 2020 to about mid 2022, very, very crazy market, low interest rates. Houses were getting value because we didn't have many houses, shortage, to interest rates were lower, more demand. So, which drives up prices. So anyway, I don't know many people who were first-time buyers who could save enough, invest enough over 5 years to accumulate $48,000. Well, $48,503.94. So if this is an option for you, or you're thinking about it, or let's say you'd have to talk to a lender, other options. Let's say you wanted to have your child live in the home, but they would have to be co-signers, you to be co-signers for them. But again, I'm not a mortgage expert, but I'm just thinking outside the box. One way you could do it where you bought it, your kid was on the mortgage, and then they added renters to the place. Again, don't take my word on that one. I'm just trying to think, is that a possibility? It could be. But if not, the best option and the absolute option for sure is you buying it, living in one of the units of the 2 to 4, and renting out the other spaces. And depending on the price you get it for, the rent you charge, you could have a large portion of your mortgage paid for, depending on where you find it. And that's where I come into place, where I can help you do that. So hopefully this is very, very valuable information. I hope. If not, I'm going to keep trying to put out information like this that hopefully will reach everybody who's interested in something like this. So until then, you can follow me on Facebook, Andy Henches, Instagram, Andy_Henches. Hopefully I can find someone out there that I can help, or you know someone who's looking for an option like this.